What if a clever cat could unravel a hidden crime? Meet Smokey, the feline hero whose fearless instincts led police to a sinister drug lab, saving 5 teens and proving that angels sometimes have whiskers. What would you do if the hero you least expected saved lives in the most extraordinary way? Watch till the end for the incredible story of a fearless cat named Smokey. Don't forget to comment the word hero to join our weekly contest and share your thoughts on this unbelievable tale. Officer Sarah Jenkins did not anticipate anything out of the ordinary during her late-night shift at the Riverside Police Station. The little town seldom experienced much activity at night, and she was busy with paperwork when she heard scratching at the front door of the station. "Most likely just another raccoon," she said quietly, but she had to follow protocol and check out any sounds. As she opened the door, she was met with the piercing green gaze of a gray tabby cat. The cat, unexpectedly tidy for a stray, didn't flee. Instead, it meowed insistently and wandered back and forth in front of her. Sarah found something about its behavior peculiar. This wasn't a famished stray seeking a meal. The cat appeared to be in distress. Would you follow an animal acting this way? Or would you dismiss it as coincidence? Tell us in the comments. Should Smokey have been taken seriously from the start? "Hello, tiny friend," Sarah remarked, bending down. The cat quickly darted a short distance away, then paused and glanced back at her, meowing even more urgently. Sarah had watched enough police films to identify the typical "follow me" behavior, but that must only occur in movies. The cat performed again, this time with more intensity. "Mike," she shouted to her partner, "you might think I'm nuts, but I believe this cat wants us to follow it." Officer Mike Rodriguez looked up from his desk. "You've been binge-watching too many Lassie episodes, Jenkins," he responded. The magic word for today is hero. Drop it in the comments and subscribe for a chance to win exclusive prizes. You won't believe what this clever cat did next. The cat abruptly dashed into the station, seized Sarah's sleeve with its mouth, and tugged. The action was so intentional that even Mike got to his feet, coffee neglected in his grasp. "This will surely be noted in the strange calls log," Mike remarked, picking up his jacket. They chose to pursue the cat, which was currently guiding them down Maple Street with purposeful steps. Every few yards, it would halt, glance back to confirm they were trailing, then proceed. Sarah communicated their circumstances. "Dispatch, this is Jenkins. Rodriguez and I are tracking a, cat informant. Location, traveling east on Maple toward the old warehouse district." "Roger that, Jenkins," responded the dispatcher's amused voice. "Did you mention a cat informant?" The feline guided them by dimly lit shops and silent houses, its gray coat nearly undetectable in the darkness. Upon entering the warehouse district, both officers automatically positioned their hands on their guns. This region had been mostly deserted since the textile mill shut down 15 years prior. The cat halted at a corroded chain-link fence encircling the old Riverside cotton mill. A sign that said, "No trespassing, hazardous building," was hung askew on the gate. "I'm not comfortable with this," Mike murmured, turning on his flashlight. The cat slipped through an opening in the fence and waited with anticipation. Sarah discovered an area where the fence had been severed. "Someone has been here not long ago," she observed, inspecting the precise cuts in the metal. "These are fresh." As they walked through the opening, both officers were hit by an intense feeling of unease. The deserted mill towered over them, its shattered windows resembling empty eyes in the moonlight. The cat guided them to a side door, that was slightly open. New scratches were visible on the metal near the handle, scratches at cat height. Could this be evidence of animal intelligence beyond what we've ever imagined? Share your opinion. Are cats as capable as dogs in saving lives? Let's hear your thoughts below. "This is becoming stranger by the second," Mike remarked, pulling out his weapon. Sarah followed suit, and they went into the building, trailing their unconventional guide. The light from their flashlights pierced through heavy dust, uncovering corroded equipment and rubble. Their footsteps resonated forebodingly on the concrete floor as the cat advanced quietly, its tail raised high like a signaling flag. "The air has an odd scent," Sarah murmured, shielding her nose. There was an odor beyond the typical damp, neglected scent, something pungent and synthetic. The cat guided them through vacant storage areas and down a hallway where ancient cotton processing machines loomed like ancient fossils. It suddenly halted, its ears leaning forward, and emitted a deep growl. At that moment, they noticed it. A soft whimpering noise emanating from behind a solid metal door. The cat clawed at the door desperately, creating new scratches among many older ones. "It's locked," Mike said quietly, directing his light at the padlock. "But this is recent. Everything else in this place is old. But this lock..." Sarah contacted dispatch to inform them of their location and requested backup at the abandoned cotton mill. Potential situation unfolding. She spoke softly, but a feeling told her that whoever was on the other side of that door was already aware of their presence. The whimpering intensified, and they could now discern words. "Please assist." "Step aside," Mike instructed, lifting his boot. The lock shattered after the third kick, the noise resonating through the vacant structure like a gunfire. When the door opened, both officers recoiled in shock. Their torches illuminated a temporary lab, surfaces cluttered with scientific apparatus, containers of prescribed drugs, and what seemed to be materials for drug production. However, what sent chills down their spine was what they noticed in the corner. 5 teenagers were gathered on a filthy mattress, each secured with zip ties. Their faces were thin and ashen, indicating they had been there for days. Among them was Jenny Thompson, who had been declared missing 2 weeks earlier from the nearby town. The Gray Tabby Cat swiftly approached one of the girls, a slender blonde who appeared to be no older than 15. The cat started to nudge her, purring softly. "That's Smokey," the girl murmured, her voice trembling. "He's my cat." "I didn't expect anyone to see." Sarah promptly called for urgent backup and medical help as Mike started to cut the zip ties. "You trained your cat to call for help?" he inquired, striving to keep the teens composed while evaluating their state. "I've had Smokey since he was just a kitten," the girl clarified, tears streaming down her cheeks as she extended her shaking hands towards her pet. "I taught him skills like fetching and guiding people. When they took me from the park, he trailed behind. He has been collecting water bottles he discovers and trying to get someone to accompany him." The complete terror of the situation was revealed as they liberated the teenagers. The offenders had been utilizing them as experimental subjects for their new drug creations. The floor was scattered with empty syringes, while medical monitoring devices softly beeped from the corner. "They will return shortly," Jenny cautioned, her voice trembling. "They consistently come back at 2 a.m. to review the results." Sarah glanced at her watch. 1:47 a.m. Sarah's radio buzzed with notice that backup was 5 minutes away, but they might not last that long. The noise of a car arriving outside resonated in the vacant structure. "Mike, take them to safety," Sarah urged quietly. "Use the rear exit we went by." "I'll delay them." The cat, Smokey, abruptly became alert, his ears pressing down against his skull. They could detect footsteps coming closer, at least 3 individuals. Mike started to silently steer the teenagers towards the rear exit, but the girl with the cat faltered. "Smokey, come," she softly urged. The cat remained still. Instead, Smokey positioned himself by the door, crouching low as if he were stalking prey. Sarah realized the cat would assist in buying some time. The sounds of footsteps approached. Sarah positioned herself behind an ancient piece of equipment, her weapon at the ready. The door slowly opened with a creak, and 3 men walked in, their flashlight beams scanning the space. "What the hell? The lock is damaged," one man yelled. That's when Smokey took action. He hurled himself at the legs of the first man, claws outstretched, screaming like a fiend. The man yelled in shock, stumbling back into his friends. Their flashlights flew out of their hands, casting the room into darkness, save for the faint glow from the hallway. "Police, drop your weapons!" The ensuing pandemonium was a haze of cries, grappling, and the relentless fighting of a distinctly furious cat. Smokey was all around, scratching, biting, and providing the ideal diversion for Sarah to keep control until assistance came. The noise of sirens and squealing tires outside signaled the arrival of reinforcements. The 3 men were swiftly restrained, even with their efforts to flee. One of the suspects bore deep scratches on his face, thanks to Smokey, who sat quietly cleaning himself after the suspects were handcuffed. As additional officers poured into the building, the actual magnitude of the operation was revealed. This was not merely a drug lab. It was linked to a broader human trafficking network that spanned 3 states. The teens had been taken to experiment with new synthetic drugs prior to their sale on the streets. "It's wild," Mike remarked later while paramedics cared for the victims. "If it hadn't been for that cat, we could have never discovered this location." These individuals were cautious. No paper trail, no digital trace. The girl, named Amy Collins, held Smokey tightly as medical staff examined her. "I adopted him from a shelter last year," she clarified. "People said he was overly clever for his own benefit. He would open doors and turn on faucets at home, so I began showing him some tricks. I never imagined it would be my lifeline." News teams started showing up, their cameras zeroing in on the unexpected savior. Smokey appeared aware he was the focus of attention, perched majestically on the hood of a patrol car, his gray fur glistening under the flashing lights. The tale circulated rapidly. Hero cat guides police to hidden drug lab and rescues 5 teens. Animal advocacy groups deemed it one of the most incredible instances of animal smarts and devotion they had ever witnessed. In the weeks that came after, the case gained national attention. Smokey made appearances on morning programs, showcasing his impressive intelligence by executing the tricks that Amy had taught him. Animal behaviorists researched his remarkable skill to comprehend intricate instructions and his impressive choice to request assistance from officials. "What's genuinely astonishing," stated Dr. Patricia Martinez, a prominent animal behaviorist to journalists, "is that this cat not only sensed that something was amiss, he deliberately opted to visit a police station. He realized that was the source of assistance available." The inquiry uncovered a shocking reality. The criminal group had been functioning for years, utilizing deserted industrial locations nationwide. Amy and the other teens were chosen as targets since they appeared to be those who wouldn't be missed. Many originated from dysfunctional households or were viewed as runaways. 3 months post-rescue, Smokey was honored with the ASPCA's Cat of the Year award. He remained completely still while they put a small medal around his neck, then went on to enchant everyone at the event by showcasing his collection of tricks. "He's more than just my pet now," Amy said at the ceremony, tears in her eyes. "He's my guardian angel." When I was losing faith in that dreadful place, he would bring me water bottles and nuzzle against me, as if he was pledging to find a way to assist. Officer Sarah Jenkins was elevated to detective, mostly because of her instinct to believe in the cat that evening. She had a framed picture on her desk of Smokey perched on the police car, appearing as proud as any honored officer. Love, loyalty, and courage, Smokey's story proves that heroes can come in the unlikeliest forms. Share this story with 3 people who believe in the extraordinary and subscribe for more inspiring tales like this. The old cotton mill was taken down 6 months afterward, eliminating the tangible reminder of the atrocities it had held. Instead, the city constructed a youth center and, following Amy's recommendation, a nearby animal shelter called Smokey Safe Haven. Our aim is to train shelter cats, Amy stated during the opening event. Many believe only dogs can serve as service animals or assist in law enforcement, but Smokey demonstrated that cats can achieve remarkable feats. The shelter established a unique initiative to teach cats essential command responses and rescue skills. Police forces nationwide started to explore the possibility of using cats in specific investigations, especially in areas where felines could remain inconspicuous. Smokey emerged as a frequent guest at neighborhood schools, where Amy would narrate their story and instruct children on safety precautions. The Gray Tabby showcased his cleverness by completing progressively challenging tasks, consistently finishing with his trademark act, guiding a volunteer through an obstacle course to locate a concealed item. What makes Smokey unique isn't solely his smarts, Officer Sarah Jenkins explained to a captivated group of elementary school kids. It's that he opted to be courageous when it counted the most. He might have escaped or concealed himself, yet he opted to assist. The other youths saved that evening gradually healed from their experience. Jenny Thompson, who had endured captivity the longest, attributed her hope to Smokey's evening visits. He would deliver us morsels of food he discovered, pure water bottles, and even little toys. At times, it felt as if he was urging us to persevere. A year following the rescue, all 5 teens convened at Smokey's Safe Haven for a memorable reunion. The shelter had successfully found loving homes for more than 200 cats, prioritizing the pairing of smart cats with individuals requiring emotional support or help. "Check this out," Amy said proudly, as Smokey showcased his latest talent. The cat carefully inspected a row of backpacks, pausing at one that housed a concealed pouch of synthetic drugs. The local police force began utilizing him to instruct their K9 units, demonstrating that cats could be important allies in detection tasks. The leaders of the criminal organization received life sentences, with their network ultimately broken apart. Throughout the trial, prosecutors showcased Smokey's behaviors as proof of the obviousness of the criminal activity. Even a cat sensed that something was amiss and looked for assistance. "People inquire if I'm still scared," Amy mentioned to a journalist at the gathering. "But how could I be? Each night, Smokey curls up on my pillow, softly purring. He resembles my own security system. If he isn't concerned, I'm sure everything's fine." The remaining survivors had similarly experienced recovery by engaging with animals. Jenny pursued a degree in veterinary medicine, focusing on cat behavior. 2 other individuals offered their time at Smokey's Safe Haven, assisting in the training of both cats and prospective adopters. Officer Sarah Jenkins, now Detective Jenkins, ensured she visited the shelter consistently. "Whenever I spot a stray cat now, I take notice," she mentioned. Smokey showed us that assistance can arise from unforeseen sources, and we must remain open to listening. A decade later, Smokey's impact continues. Although the brave cat died serenely at 15, his extraordinary tale still motivates transformation. The Smokey Protocol, a law enforcement method for addressing atypical animal behavior, has been implemented by agencies across the country. 3 instances of criminal behavior have been uncovered as officers tracked relentless cats attempting to highlight suspicious circumstances. Amy, now a well-known animal behaviorist, operates Smokey's Safe Haven in addition to her private practice. The shelter has grown to 3 sites, each focusing on training cats for various support functions, ranging from emotional therapy to aiding individuals with disabilities. People used to chuckle when I mentioned that cats could be trained like dogs, Amy remarks, observing a set of shelter cats rehearsing fundamental commands. Yet Smokey demonstrated that cats possess not only the skill, but also the passion for it. In the main hall of the shelter, a bronze figure of Smokey rests on a pedestal, his tail elegantly wrapped around his paws and his head held aloft, precisely as he appeared that evening on the police vehicle. The inscription below states, "Certain angels have whiskers, certain heroes have paws, certain miracles purr." Detective Sarah Jenkins, nearing retirement, continues to keep that old picture on her desk. She explains that it reminds her hope can manifest in the most unexpected ways. At times, the unexpected hero is not who you'd expect. It could simply be an unwavering gray tabby cat that persists. Each year, on the day of the rescue, individuals come together at Smokey's Safe Haven to honor the achievement of a resolute cat. Kids bring their animals, shelter cats demonstrate their skills, and survivors recount their experiences. The occasion consistently concludes at sunset, with many cats and their human friends gathered, observing the sky shift to golden hues. "Do you know what Smokey truly taught us?" Amy inquires, her hand placed on the bronze sculpture. "He demonstrated that love can transform the world without needing words. At times, a courageous heart is all it takes for pause and the bravery to seek assistance." Think this was incredible? Wait until you meet the horse that saved its rider from a wildfire, an act of bravery that will leave you speechless. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. Every like, share, and comment helps spread awareness about shelter animals like Smokey. Let's work together to support initiatives that train animals to make a difference. Be part of this movement.